Queen works own.
Brad Pitt seemed to have it all: looks, wealth, talent. So how did he go from the freedom of that to this to here? These are the Pitt Lessons. Pitt lesson number 10: initial attraction will mess with your head. We've all been there at one time or another. There she is, the most beautiful woman you have ever seen. You know her reputation and you don't care. Perhaps you believe this is what love at first sight must feel like. Lucky for you, the field of neuroscience has made it perfectly clear that feeling of love you have, this is multiple parts of that brain of yours working for you or against you through the release of chemicals affiliated with the reward center. A feeling that was just as easily replicated in the cocaine parties of the 1980s.
There's cocaine at this party, she says. Yeah, I hope so, because it's Friday goddamn night in 1987.
In other words, doing blow and or her may be fun for the night, or it might just ruin your life forever. When Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, two talented people, met on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, according to multiple reports, their mutual attraction was palpable, and I'm sure that initial dopamine hit was amazing, but it is also the first step into the abyss. Pitt lesson number 9: if she didn't respect her past relationships, she will not respect yours.
The person you're having an affair with is going to show up to your home. It's going to happen. You're going to be like, your wife is going to be making dinner. The kids are already going to be seated at the table and you're going to hear that knock on the door.
From vengeful spouses to unrealistic expectations by those who refuse to move on, nothing good is going to come from interjecting a third party into the relationship. Most rational people know this, but Jolie had a track record of that sort of thing. Let's take a look back. Jolie was with Calvin Klein model and actress Jenny Shimizu when she entered into an alleged open marriage with first husband Johnny Lee Miller. Her second husband, Billy Bob Thornton. Thing is, Thornton was in a long-term relationship with Laura Dern, who he left for Jolie. Jolie went on to meet Brad Pitt in 2003, the same year she and Thornton divorced, and the same time Pitt was still very much married to one Jennifer Aniston. Consequences do not matter to people like this who come into your life because those people are self-serving. That wild and crazy side of theirs, the side that doesn't think twice about wrecking your personal and financial life, will eventually turn on you. Why? Pitt lesson number 8: the hot crazy matrix is real.
It's everything a young man needs to know about women.
In short, her beauty is directly proportionate to her level of crazy. Not 100% of the time, but close enough for me.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
You need to understand that people have been letting her get away with all types of shenanigans the greater part of her life.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
It's rare that she's been made to take personal responsibility for anything. Her entitlement is through the roof, and she feels just because she's a smoke show that she can throw whatever tantrum she wants, because if you don't stick around for it, there are a million pushovers in her DMs waiting for the opportunity to take your place, until they're sick of her nonsense as well, hence the saying, say what you will about Angelina Jolie in the present, after all, that wall takes no prisoners. But back in the day, frankly, there were very few women on the planet more attractive than she was. Correlated inside the bedroom, the crazy side probably made for a good time. And that, my friends, is how that crazy ropes you in. Outside the bedroom, it does you in. But many guys out there aren't going to listen to this. There are many men out there who won't survive it should one of these sirens call out their name. Hey, no judgment here, not up to me to tell you how to live your life. But when you're on your next date with her, I recommend Pitt lesson number 7. When she tells you who she is, listen to her. Men, her jokes are not jokes, like when she makes self-deprecating remarks about how crazy she is.
Oh my God, don't ever leave me.
Ever.
Good, because I'd find you.
Or when she tells you about that insane thing she did to that guy who broke her heart that one time. When she casually mentions her Xanax prescription. All the pro athletes she just happens to know, or a story that starts,
Oh, and this one time?
you need to take her at her word. Angelina Jolie, to her credit, never made it a secret that she can be a nightmare to deal with. Sure, people can change their behavior, but for how long? After all, who you are at the core is just who you are. And as you get sucked in deeper and deeper, more and more is going to come out about her past. And that includes Pitt lesson number 6. If she has major family daddy issues, run.
Keep smiling, shithead.
At the onset, this one won't seem like such a big deal, but those family issues will rear its head in the most unlikely of places. So even if you've ignored lessons 10 through 7, you should not ignore this one. Continue on this dangerous trek of yours, and you, my friend, will eventually find yourself at the precipice of the ultimate Rubicon. Pitt lesson number 5, the kids discussion. Not to paint with too broad of a brush, but the reasons to not date most single moms have been established.
Never date single mothers. Reason, too much of a risk. She already made one mistake and some guy is paying out of his a-hole for the next 18 years of his life. So far, so good.
Markeisha, what do you bring to the table?
I do have three. I have 3 kids. I have two different dads.
All right. Well, you guys have anything else to say?
No, but I mean, now
I'm good.
Angelina Jolie told Vogue magazine in 2006 that she was quite content to be a single mom. She then told the magazine that it was Pitt's relationship with her son that encouraged them to become a couple because, according to Jolie, her son, quote, just out of the blue, called him dad. It was amazing, unquote. Fast forward and she tried everything to strip Pitt of all his parental rights, so let that sink in. She did not care if she had to tell what appeared to be blatant lies in an attempt to secure herself a stick-figure family that looked something like this. After filing for divorce, Jolie even attempted to move all of the children out of the country so she could allegedly film a movie, a plot that was thankfully nixed by a sensible judge after Pitt went to court to stop her. The lesson is this: you guys need to really know what you want or don't want in regards to children, because if you find yourself on the road of becoming a father figure, becoming a stepdad, adopting her kids, or having kids of your own with her, if or when your relationship goes south, she will do everything in her power to vilify you, take away your children, and disembowel you economically. You will experience Pitt lesson number 4. Divorce is hell.
Shall we play a game? Global thermonuclear war.
That is the exact game being played by her side, and they are attempting to make you the scorched earth. The majority of marriages in Western nations are pushed for by the woman in the relationship. Yet, according to a 2015 study conducted by the American Sociological Association, close to 70% of divorces are initiated by the wife. When you begin to account for factors such as postgraduate degrees, the number can jump to as high as a staggering 90%. Brad Pitt went through that hellscape with a seemingly crazy person on the other end of the divorce and custody battle. This is what happens when you dismiss lessons 10, 9, 8, and 7 before ignoring 6 and entering into 5, which landed you here at 4, divorce is hell.
I couldn't hear you, and besides, you're always yelling about something.
My money on expensive
clothes supposed to know
and
when to pay attention?
But when I want to get my rocks off, you know where to be found, you passive-aggressive.
Men, that is the nightmare you could find yourself in, and make no mistake, she is going to do everything she can to destroy you, just as Jolie attempted to destroy Pitt. So whatever you do, initiate damage control and follow. Pitt lesson number 3, protect your reputation.
My name is my name.
Women are masters of social strategies and manipulation of societal structures, as discussed in the book Jane Austen, Game Theorist. Angelina Jolie has accused Brad Pitt of numerous offenses, to include child abuse, which was not true, as well as accusing Pitt of not taking care of his children financially through the divorce, which was not true. His side performed a tremendous job of flagging these allegations, not with conjecture but with facts. Your name is your currency. You have to protect it.
Say my name, Heisenberg. You're goddamn right.
In my opinion, Jolie engaged in what is tantamount to a psyops and smear campaign against Pitt. Most of you can fully expect the same treatment should you get involved with the wrong woman. Put yourself in a position to know always. Pitt lesson number 2, you have options.
You want something, go get it. Period.
It really is that simple. Far too many men get into things, be it career or relationships, because they're afraid they don't have a better option.
I got nowhere else to go!
Before you get married to her, No, before you have kids with her, your future life options will be significantly impacted by decisions you make today based upon an analysis of your current situation. I am not talking about options as it pertains to other women. I'm speaking about what you want from your life, career goals, wealth accumulation, hobbies, passions. You have options towards each and every one of those ends. Finally, Pitt lesson number 1. Marriage is not always the problem, but choosing the wrong person always will be. Do not choose a red flag of a woman when we are in an age where men are treated as nothing more than utilities. Many modern women have little to no respect for even the best men in their life. The lack of personal responsibility and ownership across the board is enough to turn your stomach, and in most instances, there is absolutely nothing that you, as a man, will gain from a long-term relationship with, much less a marriage to, a modern woman over a traditional one. And yes, there are still beautiful women who conduct themselves as a lady should. Admittedly, the problem is dodging those who only look like the good ones long enough to trap you. It's like rolling dice.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Be careful not to ruin your life by pairing up with someone who will never be happy, who will eventually take you for granted, who will likely resent you for any number of reasons, will seek to obliterate your reputation in the end, a woman who will want to then rip away your kids and have you pay for the pleasure of her doing so, all as she falsely claims to the world how independent she is and is somehow lauded as a hero through it all. These are the Pitt lessons.
Hi.
There are rumors that part of the problem was that Brad was allegedly drinking and smoking too much weed. I wonder why he needed to self-medicate. Maybe because he could have been spending the last 12 years at Lake Como hanging out with George Clooney and Matt Damon instead of being stuck in a house with 85 kids speaking 15 different languages. Oh yeah, because he married a lunatic, that's why.